Hello and welcome back to another Star Stutter episode of the Winding Down Podcast. I just want to let you guys know celebrity publicist Miss Nicole M. Jordan is out tonight due to her, having an episode with lupus. But she'll be definitely on the comment section, but she's not feeling the best. So we're going to just keep her in prayer. So, man, listen, I just, I've been following this young lady for a while, and we talked last year about a lot of different things, and we back 2022. So just wanted to bring her on the show, the Chicago edition, and of course I have her on another show as well. And so with that being said, we're going to talk about this is the gospel edition, the divine journey of God. So this is our topic, the divine journey of God. And so with that being said, I'm just gonna let her brief you on who she is, where she's from, what she's about, so the audience can get very familiar with who she is, because she's definitely a sharp and a shining star when it comes to the gospel music world.
Blessings. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, King Jacob. Everybody, hello. My name is Miyoshi Trayel. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a producer from Hampton, Virginia. This basically embarking on a new face in the gospel realm, as our brother told you tonight. Happy to be here. It's nothing but the grace of God for me to be here. So thanks for having me.
All right, so there we have it. So how long have you known that you had a gift?
Ooh, I have known that thing since I was a little girl. At the age of 4 is when mom started me out fairly
Mhm.
young. I guess the Lord started me out just kind of playing around, and I was really musically inclined at a young age. My mom put the keyboard in my hand at 4, and then I would just be playing at it. And I remember her telling me one time when one of our good dear family friends came and anointed my hands and said, "Oh, she's going to use this gift for the glory of God." And ever since then, the rest has been history. I remember a time I was playing or singing at a church function on top of the offering table, leading the whole choir behind me and stuff like that. So I always share that story because that's what I remember about that experience starting off young. So
Okay, and
good evening, Nicole.
all right, right. She says hi. Sending her regards and her greetings from Exquisite PR Firm. She's the CEO, owner, and founder of Exquisite PR Firm.
Okay.
And so, and which, we're definitely going to try to bring you on as a client. So we think that we can do wonderful things for you. And so that'll definitely be coming this week where we set up a consultation for sure. And so with that being said, let's go into this gift a little bit more. So did you know that you had the platinum fingers with the keyboard first, or did you know that you was a songstress first?
I ain't gonna say nothing about all the platinum fingers now. No, it kind of came both at the same time. The singing thing probably was discovered first because, of course, in order for me to know how to play, I have to have the actual instrument, and stuff. And
Right, right, right.
yeah, I just once she put that in my hand, that's all I would do. And that's kind of like all I do now. So it's like my best friend.
Right, right, right. So, did that singing side come from? Which side did it come from? Your mother's or your father's? Like, which side?
You're gonna have them both trying to chew me out. I see. But both families are pretty musically inclined. My
Mm,
mother is the one, of course, who made sure that I was focusing on that craft and just spending that time of learning the craft and everything. But I've learned that on my dad's side of the family, there are some stars already out there doing things, and so I'm grateful to have that good mix from both sides of the family.
okay, so upon being raised in the church and doing stuff, so at what age did your mother put you in front of the church for you to do your very first solo?
Yeah, like I think that was pretty young too. Like I said, I was about maybe 4 or 5. I know I was under 7. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that stage presence was definitely a thing early on. um,
Okay, 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 okay. And so with you being music inclined at a young age, how did that go for your childhood? Like, what was the reaction from friends when they found out that you really can sing, you really could play, and even from your school teachers?
Oh yeah, so it was really great. In school, the friends always wanted to show me off to their friends, and Mike, she can sing, she can sing. So I was always put on the spot, you know,
Hmm.
at random times of the day. It didn't matter what I felt like doing or didn't feel like doing. I'm always put on the spot to sing. And the same with my mom. She's just like, you better not turn down any opportunities. You never know how the Lord will use you to touch somebody.
Hmm.
So that's always been kind of a thing growing up. Just having to be ready to use that voice whenever. As far as the teachers, I remember being able to sing like a farewell. We had a farewell concert for one of our teachers in middle school. She was retiring or something like that, and they
Hmm.
put on this whole show for her, like a concert at the school, and they asked me to sing at this thing, and I was so excited and so honored to do it. I had already been singing in the school choir, so it was nothing, for that to
Hmm.
take place. But I remember singing "Hero" by Mariah Carey. That's what they chose, for me to sing. So it was great growing up, just kind of being known as that person to, kind of just sing a little tune for them in the hallways, or some of the kids would come to my chorus class just to hear me sit and play the piano and sing. So I had a good time.
That's good. That's good. So, with that being said, I I contacted you because during the holiday season, I was watching Netflix and I was watching how Pharrell Williams' uncle put the choir together there in Virginia Beach.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Oh man, my homie from Virginia Beach, so
Yeah, that's
I
my
need to get her on here." And man, and he had some phenomenal singers come from all around, miles around,
yes, sir.
and and so I actually thought about you, and I was like, that's interesting, man. How Pharrell still goes back to Virginia, and he's this mega star, and he still deal with his uncle, the pastor that had raised him, and so what did you get a chance to see that or no?
I got a chance to see it, and I got a chance to see so many like familiar faces and everything. It was such a joy to see my hometown on TV, and like I said, some of those faces that I saw. I'm basically screaming at the screen like, "You girl, you better sing," and stuff. Um, but yeah, I would call out some of them, but I don't want to leave anybody out. But I was definitely happy to see some of my friends and family on that show.
Okay, okay, okay. I actually just interviewed a young man from that area by the name of Keith Chapman.
Keith Chapman. Okay, that name
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
yeah, yeah. He pretty dope artist. He's a Christian rap artist, but he's pretty dope. So he kind of put me in that lane of Lecrae and Canton Jones, So he kind of reminded me of them. So, but the interview was dope. So, but with that being said, as time goes on and you enter high school, from middle school to high school, so how did that music transition to your high school years?
Well, high school, that's where you're starting to deal with a lot of, I mean, you're dealing with peer pressure the whole way through it, but it started getting real in high school. I didn't really want to be in the spotlight too much in high school. It's kind of like just, I was dealing with a lot of things in high school,
Mhm.
personal life things. But believe it or not, those years were where I had some pretty big opportunities. I had an opportunity to sing for Apollo, My mom took me there to audition and everything, and I kind of dragged myself along. I was excited, but it was like a certain zeal that I really didn't have at the time that I have now for what I do, you know. But
Mhm.
yeah, mom was always just trying to get me in those doors and just show the world and everything. I went up there, got in there, and I sung an original song. This song was called Miraculous Love. Oh my gosh, I used to sing this song at church. I used to sing this song at school. And this song, you know, I wrote at like 14. So the words of this song were so like adult, or I was speaking more to like the adult audience with the words and things like that. And so there were so many people that were like, wow, you writing very profound words like this that would have people, you know, just crying out to God and like, you know, just toe
Mhm.
up. You know what I'm saying? And so just I went up there and sung that at the Apollo. At the time, they were just looking for things that music they were familiar with. They wanted
Mhm.
us to sing something that was familiar.
So
And
more like cover songs.
yeah, they were looking for them. And come to think of it, I didn't play this song at this particular one. I sung it a cappella. So it was basically like they had to be in the mood to be hearing an a cappella song for one, because most people had their soundtrack or whatever, you know. Um, but it was an opportunity that I'm grateful for, even though I did not make those auditions. The Lord allowed that to be part of my story, part of my path and experience to come into. And so that I was a little discouraged after, but like I said, it was my mom that was pushing that in me at the time anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, right, right.
we just moved on to the next one, you know. So
So so with that being said, how was it for you, you know, growing up in the church and your mom being a pusher, motivator, and a songstress herself? And how was that when you had a chance to do a duet with your mother?
oh, it was always nice to do a duet with mom. You know, there I'm not the only child, so you know, I have siblings, sisters that can sing as well. My whole family can really sing. It was
Hmm.
just great getting together like during the holidays, and these are the reasons why, you know, we get hurt and upset about COVID and stuff coming in just tearing up everything, because
Yeah.
those times with the family coming together and singing, we would
Hmm.
harmonize and just have a good time, you know, doing that. And those moments were strengthening our skills, you know, growing up. Because if we off key, the family be like, find your note, you know,
Don't I know it? Don't I know it?
no,
Don't
that's
I know it?
doing it right. Come on, get sing this note, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Because I come from the same type of family, so don't I know that? You
Yes,
know what I mean? You know, especially when like me, when you sing tender and bass, you know what I mean? It ain't so bad. But if you're a soprano or alto and you off key, oh yeah, oh
oh
yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
My aunt was a higher soprano than I was, so
Hmm.
I just let her have that thing. I would be like, you know, I could sing it. Let me sing that one. But she was in that range. I could not go. So
Yeah. So
that,
your auntie is like first soprano and you like second soprano.
yeah, yep,
Okay,
that's what
okay.
it was. And
Oh,
so I would try to go up there with her. They'd be like, you just do second.
hmm,
Do second.
hmm.
But
So like on your on your father's side, right? You
mm,
said both sides can sing. So tell me a little bit about, you know, maybe the people on your father's side that maybe play instruments, maybe sing. So um how is that rhythm like, you know, with you singing with either side? You know, like is it a difference? Because sometimes on different sides, one side may play more instruments and sing, and the other side may just sing. You know what I mean? So how
mm,
is that different? Is that different for you, or
yeah,
does it vary?
yeah, it was different because I was raised. My mom and dad were not married, so we weren't, you know, in the same household. I wasn't raised by my father necessarily, but there were times, when I was with Dad where, I would have to sing. He just wanted to put me on the spot too, and let everybody know, it's my child. Listen to my child.
Right.
Yeah, I have some family that's doing big things already in the in the music industry. Vaughn Phoenix, he's blood cousin, and he works with Tasha Cobbs. Um,
Uh-huh.
Closely related, closely involved with her and her music and production and everything like that. So I would say really more of like the ear for the production and the music and I would say the playing side probably comes from my dad's side of the family.
Okay. So your dad play as well?
So my dad is very like multi-talented. He's actually a ventriloquist. He
Wow.
does the hand puppet thing and
Yeah.
yes. And when I say like anything that he puts his mind to do, he can do. He does sign language, so he's
Hmm.
good with his hands. He can
Hmm.
strum a guitar a little bit. He can sing a little bit, and stuff like that. So he's a very entertaining person.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So after high school, um, did you transition over to college?
No, from that point, I did do a beauty college. So I went to cosmetology school, and get that trade under my belt. I wasn't really quite ready for the, 4-year type of college because I was undecided on what I wanted to do. But later on in my life, I actually just wanted to go back for music production, um, to learn about that. Life happened, had babies, doing the mama and the family thing, wife and kids, and working and school, and it just got a bit much. So I didn't really get to finish, but God is good because now He's placing like the people in my life where I can learn from, and right now the music production thing is kind of I would say it's kind of like a natural thing for me. But there are some technicalities of it that I don't use that I should use and things like that. And I don't read music, for example. I can hear any song by ear, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a dang on maestro either. But
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it's definitely given me the skill to hear, uh, and replay or hear and
Well,
recreate.
right. Well, I'm gonna say this, especially with me being a church boy and when we been around the music scene on the secular and the gospel side.
Yeah.
So I'll say some of the most some of the most talented musicians I ever heard can have never ever read a music note in their lives.
Mhm.
I mean, they only play by ear, but
Mhm.
they always have this bomb piano player with them. They can start the note off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they always got a bomb keyboardist or a piano player with them that can really start the note off. And they was like, well, can you play it in this right here? And so especially if they got the rhythm, the lead, and the bass guitar player, you
Mhm.
know, um, along with a dope drummer, and cause people are just a lot of bands are just three pieces. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
got the guitar player, they got the drummer, and they got this keyboardist that can can have them run up and down the floor in the church, or
One
he'll have you.
they want it to be.
I'm trying to tell you here, or they have you just dancing all out through the parking lot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, that three piece is great. Is great. So okay, so with that being said, I just want to bring up this HBCU. A lot of talented musicians come out HBCU.
Mhm.
A lot of vocal coaches come out HBCU. A
Mhm.
lot of music directors come out HBCU. A lot of people who can read what we call old school sheet music come
Mhm.
out HBCU. And so you have to be really involved in church to understand what sheet music is. A lot of people when I say sheet music, what do you mean? So
Him and
the
the
sheet music, with the cliff music notes and you got to be around some older cats, you know, like some cats that used to hang out with your granddad or something like that to
Yeah,
understand that
that's a thing
that
in the industry. Like, I've gotten around some musicians, and then when I get up there, and I'm talking about what key and I, you know, just looking like, huh, what note are we playing in, and trying to read music and stuff. It makes me look bad, to be honest with you. And so I am definitely trying to perfect that part of the
right.
my ministry and my career, because you want to be able to communicate what you're trying to do to other musicians. You want
But you know what? A lot of musicians that grow up in the church know how to do, and how they're so good with music is if you can read the music notes out of the hymn book, you can read any type of music.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you can read it out of the hymn book, you can read it in any type of form. Because the hymn book is very similar to orchestra music. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The notes on orchestra music look the same as a hymn book. And
Absolutely.
so, if you can read out the hymn book and you can read sheet music, then you're a dope musician. But although a lot of the people who can read the sheet music, they love the musicians that can play by ear because they take the reading up to another notch. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because they just do some crazy stuff with the piano that you be like,
Yeah, and I've gotten that part. Like, I would be playing the music or whatever. Like, I have a song called As I Am. If I had my keyboard and stuff set up, I would play a little bit for you. But I have a song called As I Am. It's very melodic, and it has a lot of different changes in it and stuff like that. And
yeah, I just listened to it tonight. I listened to it on YouTube.
yes, yes, yeah. And that song there, like, I would play a lot publicly and stuff. And so I remember some musicians, there's a chord in that song where some people just go, like, what is that? And I've been told that it sounds really, it's one of them jazzy chords,
It's crazy, man. Yeah,
crazy
it's crazy.
jazzy chord.
It's crazy. It kind of remind me of a song that I would hear BB and CC Winans sing on.
You know what? And I was just telling my sister tonight, like, I'm admitting that CC Winans, like, I have a lot of her style. Yolanda Adams, CC
Right.
Winans, and I would say lyrically and melodically, and stuff like that. Thank you, Sister Nicole. Yes, and like I said, that it would be some chords that would be played that would be like undefined. Like, he's like, I don't even know what to call that chord. Just do this instead. But that doing this instead, it's crazy because I find myself a lot of times trying to adjust myself to what's correct for
Uh,
for other musicians to understand or whatever. And I had to recently kind of just tell myself, be confident in how it comes out. If they don't understand the key or the note or whatever you're trying to do, don't let them tell you what you need to do, because God gives that inspiration and
right.
that creativity and stuff. So I've had to learn how to just, you know thank you for telling me what you think about it and everything, but we're gonna keep that right there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so with that being said, we're gonna talk about creativity. So let's talk about you as a vocalist, a producer, a songwriter, and even when you're working with other people, a vocal arranger and a director. And so how does that so who are you as an artist? You know,
Okay.
and and when people ask you, I know you can answer, but when people even ask your mother and your father and your siblings and people that you went to school with or people you come in passing with through the church community, you know, when they ask who you are as an artist, because people want to know that, because with the whole how music can really evolve, it may be a secular producer be like, I want you to co-produce this track with me because I kind of want a jazzy bluesy feel, but with the eccentric soulfulness
Yes.
of of a Tamla man. You know what I mean?
I love that kind
Yeah.
of style. Yeah.
Right. So who would you like when you introduce yourself, you say I am, and who would you explain to them you as an artist?
Well, yeah, first I like to say inspirational, because I don't believe in putting God in a box. Of course, the music comes from God, is inspired by God, but I am gospel. Sometimes I might be having a rock feel. I might, you know what I mean? Just the way he has me, it's kind of just where he puts me at any given time. And so
Okay.
yeah, I like to just keep that part open. The movie, the song "Over" was accepted for a movie. This seems like it's a secular movie. It's called "Finding the Perfect Guy," I believe, and I don't know what the movie. I mean, we could tell what it's going to be about, but I won't know. Just like everybody else, what the movie is about. But I just know that God is allowing me to be a part of the secular realm, and He's allowing me to, just venture out and how, like I said, however He wants to use me, so be it. Sometimes the church can be a little too churchy, if you will. Just when it comes to, I had one station recently tell me, your song doesn't have Jesus or Lord in it, so we ain't gonna play that one, but let us know of the next one, and stuff. And of course, that would be something that discourages you. I am on some other stations. Praise God for the internet radio. I appreciate all of you guys. But this one particular station kind of saying it to me. It was like, man, really? Come on now, but it ain't meant for everybody. It ain't meant.
Well, when it comes to gospel music and I thank God for my mom and dad, for raising me up in church. But what I do know about the church folk, and don't get it twisted. I love my church folk. A lot of my friends are pastors and ministers and apostles and evangelists.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people who are not under the clergy, of God,
Mhm.
the clergy of people that's under God, they try to be instead of just accepting for people who they are, they try to be too much of a disciplinary for the flock.
Yes.
Like and so when you're trying to be too much of a disciplinary for the flock, then the flock either turns away or the flock find value in somebody that accept them for where they're at in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the same thing with music. Just because it doesn't have God and Jesus in it doesn't mean it can't inspire somebody, and it doesn't mean that it can't register to somebody's situation what they're going through, and it doesn't mean that was a divine purpose for that person to hear that song in that particular hour they was going through.
Yeah.
So for a station to tell you that, um, they gonna get a lot of people who don't really, I'm just saying they gonna have to change that narrative, man,
Yeah.
because sometimes you don't really know who really need to hear it, and sometimes people tell you, they're not Christian, they're not gospel, they're not R&B, they're not hip hop. They'll tell you that they are inspirational, unconditional recording artists.
Absolutely. And Jesus is who I follow. Jesus is who I worship. Jesus is who gives me through his Holy Spirit. I this is his dwelling place when I'm in that mode. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can ask anybody, my sister, she knows firsthand. I be in here worshiping, going in, writing these songs and stuff like that. So can't nobody tell me where it come from but me. But that is something that just kind of had me thinking a little bit like, wow, okay, well, if the church ain't where God want me to be at, then I ain't gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna just keep going where he has for me to be. And like I said, it's going into the film industry now, and people are using it, for what they need. So that's glory to God for that.
What that song say? Give me you. Everything else can wait.
I'm sure you got a lot of them now.
That's what it say. Give me you. Everything else can wait. So as long as you give yourself fully, that's all that matter. People are gonna be people, and that's fine. But you have to have that personal relationship with God and you have to always give yourself fully to him. And that's gonna come out with the divine conviction in your music that's gonna touch lives. And
Yeah.
so as long as you continue to do that right there, then you're gonna excel in a way where people may not understand,
Mhm.
but it's that direction and that divine purpose that really God has put on your life. It's the conviction of God on your life. So
I got
that's all that matters.
Yes, yes, sir. I'm at a place now where, and I do now, now that that person did tell me that, I do want to make sure that I'm saying what I mean and meaning what I say now and my
Uh-huh.
lyrics and, just being very particular and careful with what's being said because now I see, it's just like when I'm talking to you right now, I got to think before I speak, and it's the
Right.
same God gives me those lyrics and it's all inspired by God. I got to make sure that I'm in tune the way that I need to be so that I'm not miscommunicating something, to the people and stuff like that. So it definitely did add value to my life, and I try to make all constructive criticism do that. I
Right. 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 And so with that being said, let's get into where I can well we can talk about the business side of this music. And
Mhm.
so let's talk about you as a songwriter. And you wrote that song at 14 years old, and it
Mm.
was a it was a real heartfelt, profound song that can help the average adult. And let's talking about, as my man would say, let's talk about your penmanship. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's talk about the penmanship. Because
That pen crazy
if-
now.
yeah, yeah, man. If you a writer, and you write profound lyrics, and you're analytical with your writing, and you write something that you know is going to register with the single mother, with the single father, which the things that Black people go through in the community. But so when you first wrote your very first song, what type of emotional and mental space were you in? With you being so young, and
Yeah.
you being around the gospel world, and just being around society, period, and you growing up as a young Black woman in society. So where were you mentally and emotionally and spiritually at that point as well?
Yeah, to be honest with you, this is one part I left out when you asked me about the upbringing in school. I was bullied for a good period. I guess through them high school years I was telling you about, those were some hard times, maybe like middle school, late middle school to high school, because um, I guess I started. Sometimes it can be more of an internal thing what you're feeling, but you don't know
Uh-huh.
what other people see, But I was different, I couldn't do everything, even because of how my mom raised me, and I couldn't do everything everybody else was doing. I couldn't go everywhere everyone was going. I wore the dresses every day, down to the past the knees,
Yeah.
not necessarily, with no skin showing, but very strict upbringing with that. And so, the kids didn't understand that, in gym where I had to wear something different because, still had to participate, but I had to wear my dresses and stuff like that. It was difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. So a
Yeah,
lot
because kids are mean. Kids are very mean.
kids are mean. Yes, they are, and they're meaner now than they were. So I pray and cover my kids before they go to school and just try to help them have that backbone and stuff for themselves. But yeah, like it was pretty bad. I would so when the teacher would walk out the room, I remember some kids like taking my purse and like throwing everything out of the purse, and I would get some extreme kind of unwanted attention, and it really got, you know, that stuff like that would cause a person to be suicidal and stuff like that. You know what
Yeah,
I
a nervous breakdown for sure.
Yeah, make them kids be like, why do I have to deal with this? I didn't do anything to anybody for them to do this to me. And I'm crying to everybody, the school teachers, and they're like, well, we didn't see this happen. So, we're very sorry. they're apologizing for stuff. They think I'm coming there making up and lying to them, and I'm going home. My mom would come to the school from time to time, but I still had to go to school, you know? So it's like either stop complaining or just freaking deal with it.
Yeah. So did you have brothers growing up?
um yeah, yes, but my brothers, I'm the oldest on my mom's side of the family, as I said.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just I didn't really feel protected. I wasn't
Okay.
protected, you know. But
All right.
I ain't dead. we,
Yeah, you good. You good. You good. You made it through. You made it through. So
we made it
so
through.
with so with the
Songs,
with
yeah,
the
came
yeah
from.
with the songwriting, it came from the pain and it came from emotional standpoint of view, but what kind of really made you compatible with the rest of society is the songs came from a spiritual enlightenment, enlightenment that God gave you at a young age. And
Absolutely.
so, with that being said, with you having that gift of the spiritual enlightenment at a young age, and you adding it to your penmanship, like when you first took your mother these songs and you start talking to your daddy about you a writer, what was their thoughts on it?
You know, instantly, it was a supportive thing. My
Mhm.
mom knew that music was my outlet, and she never took that from me. Um, Even though most kids go outside and play, and I did have my outside and play moments, but those times when I was kind of being disciplined for whatever, maybe talking back or whatever, it'd be go to your room. My keyboard was in my room. My keyboard was always in my room. That was something that my mother never took from me. So it just helped in these years now where I'm actually in the music business part of it, and it's a part of my life. It's a career and everything. I'm just grateful for that because I hear a lot of stories where some kids' parents reject that. Like, no, you ain't gonna be doing no music. You're gonna be a lawyer, or you're gonna, we prefer you to go be a doctor. I've heard stories like that from some really, really talented people I've talked to that, their family didn't really support or embrace that.
I don't understand that because in my household, it probably was a sin not to even do something with music for real, for real.
Mhm.
Just like my baby sister and my brother that's next to me, they sing. We all sing, but I took more of the business side of it. And then my baby brother, he he plays the congos, like
Okay.
he's a yeah, yeah. So like when
Peace
it
on.
comes to yeah, he a beast on them congos. So with that being said, like I couldn't even imagine um growing up in a household with no music because I can remember back when I was young. You talk about the Motown greats. That's all I ever heard. Like for real. Like the Motown greats, the Stack Records, and like all the great people, like the Al Greens and the Temptation, the Dells and the Marvin Gayes and the Manhattans, and the list goes on. You know what I mean? So it was always around me. So I feel like I ain't had no choice but to be a part of it somehow or some way.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so it's in my household it was music and sports. That's it. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
And that's one of those gifts that God is talking about when he says, your gift will make room for you. So the difference with me and my children, I have a child that is so talented. He can produce like me, he can sing like me. And I'm like, come here, come sing something, come do this. He's like, Mom, no. And he wants to play video games. So I do want to kind of just.
That's kind of dope because he can definitely produce music for video games and make a whole bunch of money.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna encourage them. I'm definitely not gonna force them to do it because I don't want to take that um, passion
Away from him. Right.
later, yeah, and stuff like that. But yeah, it passes on, and then you ain't got no choice but to use it at some point.
That's right. That's right. And then see with you, this is I'm gonna drop some jewels on you. I'm gonna give you some game.
Okay.
Um, I follow a few people that people probably don't know on TikTok. And a few white guys that's in the music business, that has helped a lot of independent artists from their hometown, right? So this cat told me, he said, I was listening to his video, so I inboxed him and we was talking back and forth. He said, well, the reason why independent artists is struggling, man, is because they doing it wrong. So what do you mean? He said, you got to think, man, there's probably about 8.5 billion people on the internet. And out of those 8.5 billion people, man, you probably got about 50 million artists that's trying to make it. He said, so with that being said, if you are a artist that's trying to make it and you produce, you write and you sing, or you produce, write, rap, all that, he said, well, you should actually have albums that you make for only movies. He said, so all you need to do is get you a sync representative.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, I had a cat where the Army bought his music. That was a check for $100,000. I had a cat where video games bought his music. That was a check for $250,000. He was like, so
Yeah.
so
Video
what
game.
I'm saying is a lot of artists don't sync their music.
Right.
The only time they sync their music is when they sign a major deal. But you an indie artist, you can go ahead and get your sync representative and sync your music now,
Yeah.
and make, like Cat was telling me that he said, man, I only been doing music for 2 years, man, but I've never performed. I've never been on a stage. And he was like, man, I'm in my third year of music, and he said, my first year I might have made 50,000 in music.
Mm-hmm.
I got a sync representative. He said, but for the last 2 years, I've at least made over $180,000 in music, just sitting at home,
Sitting at
not,
home.
not going nowhere, just sitting at home, and not get on nobody's stage. And he said, because I'm not the one that want to perform and be on tour with everybody, man. I don't want that lifestyle. He
Yeah.
said so. He said so. He just sync his music, and he said the checks be rolling in.
Nice.
That's game.
I think, yeah, and it is, and like I said, glory to God, my music is already kind of going in that direction and stuff with the movies and things like that. But
Yeah, but definitely still get you a sync representative. Definitely, man. Definitely.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, performance wise, even with COVID and things, it's not the same. It's not the
Mhm.
same. People are still keep doing it and gathering artists. Concerts and people and stuff together. But it has definitely changed our lives. When it
Right.
comes to that. So I'm grateful that God is already getting me in that direction.
Yes, 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 yes. So let's talk about your song "Over."
Mhm.
So let's kind of talk about the creation of the song, the production of the song, your presence in the studio of the song, and let's talk about how it sounded versus when you recorded the raw materials onto how you sounded when you did the final mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Yes, I want to know it all.
Yeah, believe it or not, like my first very rough draft of Over was actually better than the production, the studio version of it. And as many times I go back and I'm just listening to myself, kind of recording like from a phone or whatever, because that's a way that if it downloads into me, I'll grab something, just put it down real quick. But when I came home and I actually got into my software, I use Logic and recorded this little rough mix or whatever. Man, that mix actually sounded better than what I ended up with. And like I said, I got around some people that were kind of like, this sounds better. This do this. Why don't you do that? That doesn't make sense. Why are we doing it this way? And I started allowing people to change my sound because I'm an up and coming artist. I don't know what to do. All I know
Mhm.
is I have this gift, and I was very, humble, if you will, but not only humble, but I was kind of like not really humble, kind of like just not confident all the way, you know. and allowing people to do this and that. I remember recording one of my songs and with someone, and they had background singers on the dang on song, and I wasn't even in the room when they were practicing my song. They just took the song and just, I had a lot of those kind of experiences. And I'm like, well, Lord, you're showing me that there is strong value in this stuff. Like people must really love it. But why they gotta be taking my song and changing my song up? So over it, as beautiful as it still is I'm grateful for that was a song that God allowed to kind of push me into the industry. That song charted #4 last year for internet radio, which is one of the big charts, and stuff that people recognize, like Billboard and stuff like that, recognized chart. And so that song God allowed to use. He used me to write, to push it there and stuff. So whatever the process was behind it, it was meant. I'm just grateful for how it all played out in the end. But I had to definitely learn some lessons through that.
Okay. I definitely like the song. I'm looking forward to see what you got going on next. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. So we're not gonna lose connection this time. We're gonna stay in communication, and we're gonna see how we can work. Because with that being said, this is what I feel about somebody that's a writer. If you can write a song, you can write a whole movie script. If you can write a song, you can write a whole TV series.
I got a whole movie idea for film directors or whoever, all my friends, all your friends. I'm letting y'all know I have some movie ideas, and these songs that I write can fit into these movies. And
yeah, I'll definitely be in touch with you for sure. So, most definitely. So, I always ask artists this, and some artists go with younger people, the younger artists, and some go with the older artists that they grew up around. So, what are some of your heavy influences as far as the gospel realm and even in the R&B realm? Because I know this for a fact. I know I have a few cats that I'm connected with that I'm gonna probably plug you with to get some of that production from you, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I already called out a few earlier. CC Wynding, Yolanda,
Right.
the Clark sisters, and all that.
Right.
So on the secular side, I mean Whitney Houston, she's like my #1 favorite of all. Then we got Lauryn Hill. India Ari came after Lauren, and really I have like a plethora, but those are like the main ones that I can call off from the top.
Man, I'm surprised you ain't called my girl. Oh man, I'm offended.
Hold up. Who we talking about?
We talking about the greatest singer in the world right now, today. That's Jennifer Hudson.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Hudson. See, but she came along later on. I was kind of going from.
Yeah, but man, listen, I tell people all the time, man. I said, man, if you really understand the riffs and the runs and the octaves and what Jennifer can really do with her voice, man,
she has
like people would. That's like you would really understand how I feel. Like I feel, man. Like Jennifer, man.
Brandy was another one for me. I mean,
who that?
Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy got a nice monotone voice to me. Yeah, she got a nice one. Now when it comes to powerful singers and people leave her out, man. But Kelly Price can flat out sing, man.
Kelly Price.
Yeah. She can. I was listening to her gospel album, a couple of days ago. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And we definitely gotta mention, I can't leave Mariah out because
Mariah out.
No, we can't leave Mariah out there. But yeah, it's some phenomenal. But as far as gospel, when it comes to gospel, I like Kim Burrell, I like Tasha Cobb. I love Ayanna Crawley. You know what I mean? I think she's pretty dope. And Jessica Reed is really different. Like what she can do with her voice is crazy. Like how she can go low, how she can go high, and like it's crazy, man. She
Yeah.
like the prince of gospel to me, man. You
Yeah.
know, like how she can make her voice go into a tender or a baritone and then bring it back up to second soprano, first alto is crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
she and it's a lot of see me myself. I like those old school singers like Fred Hammond and Marvin Sapp and Daryl Coley and people like that. I like them rifty running type dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know. So and just to let y'all know, you remember I said it first on the Winding Down podcast. Don't be surprised if y'all see Tyrese go all the way gospel. Don't be surprised. It's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So
See that?
and I just
Them boys
I
was
just
raised in the church anyway, and they just probably got in the
yeah
ministry and just, try
yeah
to.
yeah more likely. So what's next for you on the business side?
On the business side, right now, I do have a label. It's called New Ambience Productions. Right now, we're just trying to. There are some changes that has taken place with this label. With me and my partner, you have met my partner.
Right.
We're not talking too much about right now publicly, but I know he's an artist. I'm an artist. God has great things individually for both of us. And we were trying to think about what this label, are we going to manage other artists? Or are we going to, how are we going to do that?
Well, I'm gonna just give you guys a word of advice with the label, man. You guys should create a lot of partnerships.
Mm,
As far as have artists to bring some to the table. So therefore, if they're gonna bring some to the table, they're gonna work their behinds off. You
mm.
know what I'm saying? Because they got their name and their money on the line.
Yes.
And and with the other partnerships, I can say this. A lot of people don't look at it like this, but you have people like Chick-fil-A has a big Christian community.
Mm,
And so for a commercial or to become a spokesperson for them, like you a gospel artist. So just submit some music, you know what I mean?
mhm.
And like Universal Hampton, Norfolk State, Virginia State,
Yeah.
Virginia Union, Virginia Commonwealth.
Mm,
Like all these schools have big, 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 big gospel choirs.
yeah.
And so with that being said, like it's a way that you guys can really merge the two, like your label
Yeah.
and the Universal Gospel Choir, and y'all do amazing concerts. You
You
know what I mean?
always had like these big ideas ever since the first time we talked. I remember he and I were on the phone with you, and you had these ideas. I was like, whoa, too much, too much, too much.
No, not no. I mean, it's not. But I'm just saying,
But
if you don't, if like, okay, the mind got to be a place
yeah,
where
you
it evolves.
took it up here. And
Yeah, I'm always that's me always. It's never going to be a little bit. I'm,
yeah,
I'm always going to give you a lot.
you was like,
You
y'all
know,
right
a
for
lot of people,
anything
a
yet?
lot,
No. It's like, well,
a,
why not?
a lot of people say it's too much. But with you being from Virginia, why not?
Mhm.
With you getting that mission statement together, that proposal, that marketing strategy, why not? It's HBCU. Like what?
Right, right, right,
And
right.
the trickle effect once one HBCU see a school doing it, they're going to invite you in with warm arms of welcome.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to get some work done back home.
and especially if you have a well known pastor to be the MC or the host, the master ceremony. So
Together.
just cause he or she is there, they're coming anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So but we'll talk though. Because I'm
Connected now, so don't be look.
yeah, I'm definitely a brainiac. So we'll talk.
But yeah, as far as the label is concerned, we're um
So
take
So
risks.
how about this? You you need to hit something for us. You need
Hit
to
it.
give us a little, yeah. You need to give us a little acapella. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm. You gonna
Yeah,
do it. Gotta be
yeah,
ye ready.
yeah. You know, when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know.
Man, let me see. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain. That's
All right,
a little bit.
all right, all right. We appreciate that.
Yes,
Shout out to you, Miss Nicole Jordan. There you go.
there you go.
There you go. You know what I mean? So, but we definitely appreciate you, man. So, I want you to tell people what they can get with you at, follow you at, support you at, and even if they want to purchase some of your production, all the above. So,
Yeah,
because you are a multi-talented artist, producer, and she don't discriminate when it comes to production. So, don't think she do, because she don't.
I don't. I don't. I like it all, and I want to be challenged to do it all, And if I can't do it, if I've tried it, I'll be like, okay, we're gonna move this on to somebody else. But I will
Right.
definitely try it. So you can go visit my website, www. Is there a way you can put this on the screen for me? If not, it's okay. But it's
I'll put it in the chat box, and they'll see it.
Okay. www.MiyoshiTrayel, as it's spelled here,
Hmm.
.com. That's usually, I try to keep it updated enough to keep it current of what's currently going on and everything. I'm on all, not all, because you got so many thing on social media now. I'm trying to keep up with, but Facebook, Instagram, you can just type my name, Miyoshi Trael, and everything should appear. I do have a few videos on YouTube that I've been able to do. Currently, and I'm keeping it hush hush a little bit, but there's a little bit of a distribution deal down the pipe for me. I can't say with who yet, but it's a big deal. So just pray for me that God is guiding me in the right direction with that. And the world and everyone that's following, I appreciate you guys. Y'all will be in the know as soon as that happens. So
All right, all right. We appreciate you for coming through and kicking it with us on the Winding Down podcast, man. And shout out to you and your team. And I look forward to working with you. And we'll have that consultation with the PR firm this week. And I'll definitely let you know what time and what date. And so you just let me know what works upon your availability, and we can definitely make it happen.
sounds
So,
good. Thank you so much for having me. Much love to y'all, and I can't wait to hear what we got going on coming soon.
all righty. Peace and blessings, and we'll talk soon.
All right then. God bless.
All right, bye-bye.